What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to No Live Till Metal. Going to be doing a live album and bootleg updates. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of CDs, a lot of vinyl. This is all live albums. Some are official, some are bootlegs. But I'm going to start off with what's playing in the background. This is not a bootleg, but this is Birth Control Live, some German prog. The only Birth Control album I have in my collection, actually. Need to get some more. I've added them to my want list. Picked up this little CD on Amazon, of all places. This is Frehley's Comet Live, 1987, from Milwaukee. Fantastic show, full of songs from, obviously, Frehley's Comet, but also stuff from Kiss and Ace's solo album, 1978 solo album. So very good live recording. Now the sound quality, it's not perfect. I mean, if you're, a total audiophile and you only like perfect sound recordings, then this is not for you. If you're a fan of, of solid live recordings, that kind of raw, energetic material, like, I don't know, like live albums are, then this one is great. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So, it's warts and all kind of stuff. Live across the radio, there's no overdubs to fix the rubs. Every little crack or note out of place is there. So, and I prefer that, unless it's a really bad performance. But in the case of Frehley's Comet 87, it's a very good performance. So, very good show. And then I picked up this little box set, UK release. This is The Little Box of Ted Nugent. The Little Box of Ted Nugent, rare live broadcast recordings. So a 3 CD box set. All 3 CDs are in jewel cases. So you've got Don't Mess with Texas from 1977. This would have been recorded just before Cat Scratch Fever was released, so on the Free For All tour. So he's playing songs off of Cat Scratch Fever. He plays Wang Dang Sweet Poontang, Cat Scratch Fever, and 1,000 Knives. And 1,000 Knives is a song you just never hear live. And he announces all those as new songs for the upcoming album, so it's pretty cool. Great sound on this one, really solid. I mean, as good as Double Live Gonzo as far as the sound quality goes. And he does, of course, Great White Buffalo and an almost 10-minute long version of Hibernation, an almost 10-minute long version of Stronghold. And then 8-minute version of Stranglehold. This is fantastic. This box set is worth this alone, if you ask me. However, the other 2 discs are stellar as well. So you've got Cape Cod 81. So 81 would have been Intensities. So you've got a lot of songs off here, off of Intensities, as well as you get songs like Flesh and Blood and Scream Dream and whatnot off of Scream Dream. Try to see if there's any other ones on here from Scream Dream. Land of 1,000 Dances from Intensities, Scream Dream from Scream Dream. My love is like is like a tire iron. That's that's from Intensities as well. Heads a Roll from Intensities, Jailbait from Intensities, Wango Tango from Scream Dream, and Flesh and Blood from Scream Dream. So yeah, a good portion of these songs are live from those 2 albums that preceded this. The classic songs on here are Wang Dang Sweet Poontang, Motor City Madhouse, Cat Scratch Fever, and Free For All. Again, very good sound quality. And then finally you get State Fair 1995 from Louisville, Kentucky. Kentucky State Fair. And this is fantastic as well. Really solid recording. He's got a full band here, including vocalist, what's his name? My gosh. Derek St. Holmes. Brain fart. So you've got Derek St. Holmes doing some vocals here, backup vocals, also rhythm guitar. So and the sound quality is great, and there's a fantastic set list. Just Turning to the Center of the Mind from the Amboy Dukes, which is cool. He does a very long, lengthy version of Wang Dang Sweet Poontang with Jimi Hendrix Red House kind of mixed in the middle of it, which is cool. Songs like Live It Up are on here, and then he's got some of the songs from the most recent album at that time. So he's got songs on here like Kiss My Ass and Fred Bear. So again, great sound quality. All 3 shows were fantastic, but that 77 show just blows them all away. It's fantastic stuff. Alright, getting into the vinyl. This is Iron Maiden. This is April 29th, 1982, Stuttgart, Germany. This is basically an EP. It's got 5 songs. Yeah, 5 songs, all from the same album, I mean from the same show, obviously. So you got Run to the Hills, Hallowed Be Thy Name, Phantom of the Opera, Sanctuary, and Drifter. So it's soundboard recording. It's not a great recording. The band sounds good, but the recording is not like, you know, like Drop Dead Awesome. And there's a lot of Iron Maiden stuff out there. So this is more of a collector's item if you're a Maiden fanatic than anything else. It's not like something you're going to listen to over and over again for two reasons. The sound, it's not bad. I mean, if you graded it from an, you know, an A to an E, I would give it like a C+. The other thing is it's just short, you know, but it's still cool to have. I'm a huge Maiden fan, especially the early eras, you know, Number of the Beast and the Paul Di'Anno eras, the Killers and Iron Maiden, and just fantastic stuff. The band was just, they were still, you know, young and raw and hungry, and that's what I dug about early Iron Maiden, and this album is definitely captures that, so very cool. Next up is another bootleg. This is from 1980 Reading Festival, but this is Budgie Live. This recording is fantastic. The sound quality is great. There's actually a version of so it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 songs, and I'm telling you, this album is maxed out at 7 songs because these songs are long and they just jam. But there is, I guess this thing was broadcast live, so that's what most of this is from. But the last song is Bread Fan, and according to the liner notes on here, it says the lost version of not transmitted. So apparently the song was played live, but for whatever reason it wasn't transmitted on the air. So it's got the complete Reading show on here. Cool packaging, nice cover, nice back cover. I like the fact that it has the flyer from the show and a live shot from the show. So I mean, it's actually, you know, somewhat accurate. It's not, you know, the genius in packaging that many bootlegs are. Same with the Iron Maiden one. At least it's a picture from that time period, even if it's not, you know, from that show. It's, I mean, I've got Aerosmith bootlegs where it's got a, you know, it's a show from '73. It's got a picture of them from '83 on there, you know, so. And this next one is an official release. It's a Record Store Day release. Came out this year. This is a classic show. A lot of bootleg collectors probably already had copies of this. But this is the complete legendary 1979 New Year's Eve show that rocketed rock for its finest into the 80s, featuring previously unreleased new mixes from the original multi-tracks. First time the historic Fabulous Forum show has been ever available on LP. So, Are You Ready Live, 12/31/79. Yeah, this is great. I love the first 4 Cheap Trick albums. A lot of people, you know, think of the first 3 Cheap Trick albums as like the holy trilogy of Cheap Trick, and I wouldn't disagree. Those first 3 albums are fantastic. And then, you know, of course, they have a live album which just skyrocketed them into stardom back in, what, 1978, live at Budokan. But this album also includes tracks from Dream Police, which I think is a fantastic album as well. So just a great album all around with songs from the first 4 albums. Nice packaging for gatefold. I guess I could take it out real quick and show it to you guys. This might be a little lengthy video because I do have quite a few to show, but so some very cool photographs from that time period. Couldn't tell if they're all from that same show. Ticket stub from the show, and just some cool, I love stuff like this, you know, collages that have, you know, memorabilia and stuff from that time period, as well as some very cool liner notes. 2 album sets. It is on black vinyl, and they kind of did a mock version of the original Epic, Orange Epic label. So yeah, very cool set. Glad to have it. Had a buddy pick it up for me because I didn't get to go to Record Store Day this year, so very happy to have that one. This is actually another, I don't think this is like an official release, but I don't think it's a bootleg either because it's on Purple Pyramid. So I would imagine it's officially, you know, an official album of some sort, even if it's not like part of the band's official catalog. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, so this is recorded live in Miami, Florida in 1972. Of course, Rod Evans, former Deep Purple. This is Captain Beyond. Very early Deep Purple-esque in its sound. If you know that early Captain Beyond sound, that's what you're going to get here. Sound recording, it's very live, very raw, but very listenable, very enjoyable. Assuming it's from a soundboard or from a radio broadcast or something like that. Regardless, I quite enjoyed this one. Cool cover art, very nice. If this is a bootleg, it's a very nice bootleg because, like I said, the sound quality is good. Everything's just very nicely well done on this thing. It's on Purple Pyramid, blue vinyl, 500 copies pressed. I guess this was released, according to this, in 2019. This next one I've been waiting for a long time. I actually pre-ordered it months ago. I'm going to say like 6 months ago on Amazon. Actually, Steve Bodine, the Harmless Level, contacted me and said, "Hey dude, there's a new album coming out. Did you see it?" I said, "Oh no." And I checked. Pre-ordered it right away on vinyl because I knew the vinyl was only coming out in Europe and I wanted to get a copy off Amazon. And a few months later, it was canceled. The order was canceled with really no explanation other than it's canceled. So it's kind of bummed, but then I saw online news that the album was being released. So I went back to Amazon, and sure enough, it was on Amazon again, so I re-pre-ordered it, and finally arrived, but this is Battleground by Molly Hatchet. This is a 2019 recording of the current Molly Hatchet, doing a lot of newer Hatchet stuff. I call it the Phil McCormick years, so there's a lot of Phil McCormick years stuff on here, as well as some of the classic stuff, you know, from the early years, and then late 70s and early 80s as well. But yeah, this album actually features now the band's, what, 1, 2, 3, the 4th vocalist. So all 3 of their former vocalists, including the one who had been with them the longest, which was Phil McCormick. Phil McCormick passed away, I believe it was in 2018, it might have been even early 2019. So he was replaced with a new vocalist, and this new vocalist sounds a whole lot, I mean a whole lot like Phil McCormick. And Phil always kind of had that sound like Danny Joe Brown, but Phil kind of had his own sound and style as well. And I really think this new vocalist kind of has that similar vibe to, more so to Phil than to Danny Joe Brown. But yeah, it's a 3-album set, great set list. There is 3 different sleeves, all with lyrics and pictures. This is a beautiful package. And I can't remember the new vocalist's name. I'll look it up in a second. But there's a photo of him right there. Yeah, let me see if I can find his name real quick in here. Molly Hatchet. I don't see it on here. Hang on, it's got to be on. I know I saw it somewhere on these sleeves because I didn't even know who it was when I got it. I was kind of, you know, wondering who's going to be singing. I mean, Phil died, so who's singing? My goodness, I cannot find the name of the vocalist. I think it would be on here somewhere. Ah, here we go. The band. Let's see. Lead vocals and harmonica, Jimmy Elkins. So Jimmy Elkins is the vocalist on here. So you've got Bobby Ingram on guitar. Of course, Bobby Ingram's been flying the Molly Hatchet banner since the 80s. And then you've got John Galvin, who has also been with the band since the 80s on piano and keyboards. Tim Lindsay on bass, who has been with the band a long time, since probably the 90s. Sean Beamer, who's been on and off with the band for a couple, 3 decades now. And then new vocalist Jimmy Elkins. But yeah, fantastic sound quality, fantastic recording. I mean, this is just, if you like Molly Hatchet and you're not offended by the fact that there's no original members left, just a lot of longtime members, then this album is really worth picking up. Great stuff. I love Molly Hatchet, and this album, yeah. All right, next up, another Record Store Day release. This is great. This is another great packaging too. It's really shiny, so there's no way I'm going to not get glare on this thing. But yeah, this is $1 Billion Babies, Houston, Texas, April '73 live, and sound quality is great. The performance is great. The packaging is fantastic. So it's printed on, looks to be printed on a gold foil. And I am going to leave the shrink wrap on this one. I don't usually leave shrink wrap on raw vinyl. It kind of bugs me to have shrink wrap on there, but I'm going to leave it on this one because it's got that gold foil. And gold foil picks up fingerprints bad. So I'm leaving it on there to protect the gold foil. But you can see how glary that is. But even the inside is printed, which is really bizarre. It's not a gatefold. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to show, but if you look inside, you can actually see the inside's printed with like the green snakeskin from the original $1 Billion Babies cover, which is really, I mean, that's paying attention to some detail right there. There is no inner sleeve. All the line art's on the back, so you get the original Alice Cooper group with Alice and Glenn Buxton and Michael Bruce, Dennis Dunaway, and Neil Smith. And you've got black polyline sleeves. And I don't know if it's the full show or not. There is 11 songs on there, and then there's also a 7-inch single that comes with it, which has Love, Under My Wheels Live and School's Out from the same show. So I'm assuming it's for the entire live show along with the 7-inch. So very cool. I have no idea how much this thing was selling for. This particular one is probably more than I would have normally paid, but a buddy picked it up for me in a trade, and it was $34.99. So that's a bit pricey, but I mean, it's a fantastic show, and it's also a limited edition. I couldn't tell you how limited. It doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. First time a limited edition of 6,000, so it ain't that limited. 6,000 copies these days is a lot. So anyhow, regardless, great show, great packaging. Really enjoyed it. I love early Alice Cooper band stuff, and that's exactly what that is. So let's see, we got two more. Again, this is another record store day. This one's a little deceiving. This is Ace Frehley, Frehley's Comet Live. This is a little odd in that it's got the sticker on here saying Record Store Day, first time on vinyl, 180 gram hexachrome orange edition. It's not the first time on vinyl because I have the Greatest Hits Live, which is the exact same thing as this. So it's not exactly true. It's basically from the what was it, Live +4 video, I think it was, or so you get Rip It Out, Something Moved, Cold Gin, Shock Me, Breakout, and Rocket Ride Live. Recorded at Hammersmith Odeon in 1988. Again, the band was tight. They had been touring for almost 2 years at that point, so they were fantastic. You know, and he had a solid, solid backing band in John Regan and of course Todd Howarth, who was the other vocalist, guitarist, and songwriter in the band. Comes with a insert with the original Live +4 cover on it, VHS cover. Nothing too fancy, but again, that's exactly what this is. This is Live +4 on vinyl. I love Ace, so of course I had to have it because it's Ace, and I'm a huge fanatic. Very nice, opaque orange color. It feels to be 180 gram vinyl. So it's nice. It's nice packaging. I've heard people complain they don't like the cover, but the cover mimics the original Live +4 VHS. I don't think it looks bad at all. Some people said it's all pixelated. It's really not. It's what they've done is they've added a bunch of noise to it to kind of give it that old effect. It's really not pixelated at all. So cool recording. It is only 6-song EP, but it's Ace. So to me, it's worth it. I love Ace. Great live EP. And last one. This is just one that's been. You guys, anybody who's watched my channel for any number of years probably knows I'm a huge fan of this band. And this album has just somehow eluded me for all these years. And it was finally put out on Black Friday. But this is the Runaways, live in Japan. It's got a little obi strip on it. It is not a Japanese pressing, though. I've always liked the cover. It's a great raw performance. I mean, if you're into stuff like, Girl School, Joan Jett, Motorhead, that kind of punk-edged rock and roll, that's exactly what you're going to get with the Runaways. So here's the gatefold with the girls. The inner gatefold. Well, I can't get rid of all the glare, but you can see tons of photos in there. Came with a new printed version of the original Mercury sleeve. Of course, as I recall, the original Mercury sleeve had a hole in it. This one does not. But regardless, also comes with the logo looking like the original, or the label looking like the original Mercury label. Sound quality is great. I mean, it's the exact same recording. I can't tell if it's remastered because, as I said, I've never owned the original, but it sounded great to me. I really enjoyed it. These guys were young and hungry and full of energy, piss and vinegar, basically at that time. So this is it's a fantastic live album. Really glad it finally saw a re-release in the United States, a proper re-release, not a bootleg, and that's pretty much my live albums and bootlegs update. Appreciate you all watching. Look forward to talking to you below about some of this stuff. Maybe you know more about it than I do. Or maybe you have some suggestions for other stuff that I've missed that's come out recently. Any of that kind of stuff, man. I love talking to you guys. So that's it. God bless. Stay strong.